We find out if the interest shown in cycling when the Tour de France came to the region will generate better cycling facilities in Essex.
I've had to jump off my bike and into the hedge nearly 10 times to avoid being smacked by a car.
A couple of months ago, I was right here, part of the huge crowd here in Saffron Walden, as we waited for the Tour de France to come hurtling through the town. It was really exciting, and a lot of people hoped that the legacy from that would mean more interest in cycling and better cycle tracks. Well, I've been following one campaign to get a new cycle path built here in Saffron Walden.
Welcome to a parallel world, where a cycle heaven and hell exist at the same time.
Very soon, the Tour de France will sweep through the streets here in Saffron Walden. It's the biggest cycle race in the world. It's Stage 3, which starts in Cambridge, and comes right through Essex.
But away from the glitz, the reality for commuting cyclists is closer to hell than the Lycra Nirvana. Which is why messages like this are being painted on the route of the Tour. In fact, there's just one cycle path in the town. James Savage lives in Saffron Walden. He's keen to see the Tour. What he really wants are more cycle paths.
There's been a lot of talk of sort of legacy to the Tour de France, but that won't just happen on its own. You have to create the cycle infrastructure to enable people to feel safe to get on their roads and go out and cycle.
What an atmosphere! Thousands of people are here in Saffron Walden for the Tour de France, and it just goes to show what level of interest there is in cycling. So will this mean a big boost for cycling in Cambridgeshire and Essex?
I brought you up here, David, to show you the extent of the cycle paths that we've got here in Saffron Walden.
Didn't seem very long to me. There's a sign there that says end.
Yeah, and when you get to this end bit, it spits you out into the highway here, and then you're out into the countryside on the main road.
This is the end of the line.
This is it, yeah.
That's incredible. So, how long is it?
We've measured it, and it's 500 yards, which is about 350 metres. And it doesn't go anywhere. It ends up at the municipal dump.
Like many people who live in Saffron Walden, James commutes to London, but he cycles to the railway station about 2 miles away along this road, the Walden Road.
And in the last 2 to 3 years, I've had to jump off my bike and into the hedge nearly 10 times to avoid being smacked by a car that's overtaken on a blind bend and then cut back in on me. The campaign that we've been running here in Saffron Walden for the last 3.5 years has got one single objective for the time being, which is to get a cycle route, a safe cycle route, built between Saffron Walden town and Audley End station.
The campaign was started by Jan Durkin. She's not a cyclist, but felt so strongly that there should be a dedicated path for cyclists and walkers that she organised a petition and a ride and ramble.
I got 1,000 signatures in 5 hours. People were just queuing to sign, and I just thought, oh, perhaps I'll get 50. But it was just an avalanche of people agreeing with what I wanted. We'd have the road closed for 3 hours, and we decided to just ask people to come and show their support by riding and walking the route. And almost 1,000 people turned up. It was just amazing. It was an amazing day. We all felt that something would definitely happen after that. But
Did it?
No, not really.
The campaigners want a path to link the town and the station for walkers and cyclists. Emma Sweeney was hit by a car when she was walking along the Walden Road.
I was walking to the station and I was on the right-hand side of the road, just a bit further down, and a woman was coming towards me really fast, but you kind of presume that they'll go around you. But as she got closer, I realised that she wouldn't go around me, so I jumped up onto the bank, and she still clipped my elbow, but didn't stop or slow down. She just drove away.
So she was a hit and run?
Yeah.
A design for the track has been produced, but some people are objecting because the design closes the road to traffic going to the station, so vehicles would have to use one of the 2 other roads. The final decision will be made by Essex County Council.
The downside is that one lane will be shut off for other users, and that would include people on horses, people in lorries, people in vans, commuters going home. So it has a downside, but it's all about sharing the road. There is a multitude of different users, and we all need to have a space on the road.
The campaign group Access Walden say that councillors just aren't interested in helping them out. Is that true?
I don't know which councillors they're attacking, but I don't think it's me in particular. But it's very difficult to get 100% agreement from everybody. So there'll be some councillors who agree with them, and then there'll be councillors who have to make difficult political decisions, who don't want to offend more people than they need to.
But other cities have proved it can be done.
Cambridge is Britain's top cycling city, with more than half the people here cycling at least once a month. So how do they do it? And can other places learn a thing or two from Cambridge?
We love the bicycle because it's the easiest, quickest way of getting around.
Robin Hayden is from Cambridge cycle campaign group CamCycle.
I don't think it's got it all the way right. What it does is it prioritises bicycle traffic over car traffic. People want to feel safe, and through Cambridge there are secondary routes where you can get from one place to another without having to interact with many cars at all. Where we stood at the moment used to be a rat run for Newmarket Road. They put this bridge in to create better connectivity with a new development. They closed this road off to car traffic, and now it's as safe as you can possibly be.
It's just so peaceful being here because everyone's going up and down on their bikes.
It's amazing what happens when you get rid of the internal combustion engine.
James has come to meet Robin for advice on the Saffron Walden cycle campaign.
Cambridge has an amazing track record in securing a cycle infrastructure. Do you think that's something that we can achieve in Saffron Walden?
Of course you can. Cambridge was a place which had, just the same as Saffron Walden, cars going through the medieval streets. All it takes is a bit of political will to say, actually, no, we don't want the place dominated by polluting vehicles. We want this place to be somewhere humanistic, somewhere where people want to be, where people want to walk around and cycle around safely. Cambridge has done it because they've made a conscious decision to remove through traffic, to build cycle infrastructure. If you came to Cambridge 30, 40 years ago, it would just look like Saffron Walden does today. Yeah, it's just a matter of building good infrastructure, and people will get on their bikes. People will reduce traffic congestion.
One of the main reasons people give for not cycling is because they say they feel worried about their safety. But separate cycle lanes like this one go a long way to making people feel less worried. I certainly feel safer cycling along here than, say, if I was on a road. There's no traffic allowed on them. But these cycle lanes aren't cheap.
A basic cycle lane will be around £80,000 a mile and could cost as much as £1 million per mile, though spending on cycling can have benefits 10 times those of building roads. It's one of the arguments CamCycle use when lobbying local politicians.
Once they realise the benefits, you know, a 6-to-1 benefit in terms of money going in and money coming out, health benefits, productivity benefits, it's a no-brainer. No politician should turn around and say, no, I don't want to build a cycle path.
Do you know what? An unexpected side effect of the Tour de France actually coming through Saffron Walden is that, of course, the roads had to be closed, and it's closed for 2 or 3 hours after the race has gone through, and it kind of gives you an idea, a bit of a glimpse of what it might be like if there were more cycle lanes in Saffron Walden, because normally I wouldn't be able to stand here, it'd be far too busy.
What are you doing here in Essex to kind of encourage people to get on their bikes? What are you doing as a council?
I think just by having the Tour de France, you know, we didn't have to have it. We could have said no. I would,
You've been crazy if you'd said no.
I'd been really cross if we'd said no. But, you know, it was quite difficult to get enthusiasm amongst cabinet members to having it. And we didn't
Really?
We didn't put any money from Essex County Council into it at all.
After 3 years of campaigning, Saffron Walden is still waiting for a decision on the cycle path. That decision is expected soon.